Hey, brother Wes.
Hey,
I
how
know
you doing?
something. Oh, I'm good. I wanted to say that it's really great to see you.
It's great to be seen and not viewed. You know what I mean?
Well, that's probably true, and I, uh, I think with you, that's more so than ever, right?
It is. I've been using that Les Brown saying for the last several weeks, but boy, I got to tell you, after my little health scare, it is definitely good to be seen. And I got to tell you, we're back at racking and stacking. I love that,
Me
and
too.
we've got a great couple guys on today that are making that rack and stacking worth it.
Oh, absolutely. It's always fun, but man, we get to talk to guys like Steve and Adam. Uh, this is what really makes it fun, right? Because these guys are heading up a family-owned group that's just not only to make great products, they just run a great company. They're family-owned. They're small-town, community-oriented. Just all that stuff that I know you and I both love. And I just love to tell people stories like this because I think this is Americana right here, right? This is the way it ought to be. This is where most people, at the end of the day, really prefer to spend their time in their work careers is with people like these guys. So,
No, I couldn't agree more. And I'll tell you what, instead of jibber jabbering with you, how about I bring on the
well,
real
I,
stars of the
well,
show?
I guess we could. I mean, I had about 30 more minutes of brilliance, but if you're the guy with all the buttons, so I guess I'll just be quiet and wait. Then go ahead, do what you want
Sounds like a plan.
to do. All right.
All right, Randy.
See. Hey, fellas, how are you?
Fine. How are
Good,
you?
Randy. How about yourself?
Oh man, I really couldn't be any better. As I was, half of what I say to Wes is incorrect, and the other half is pretty much BS. So it's his job to figure out which is which. But what I really did mean that I enjoy every guest we've ever had. I really do. I'm blessed to do what I do with this little part of my life. But I love the small business, small town, family owned concept, and RJ Thomas Manufacturing, which just first class stuff. I mean, I didn't, and I'm gonna profess. I didn't know what you guys did until I got to know until Justin kind of filled me in on what you guys did. But as I started looking up what you guys do, it's some really great products. But what I like better than that is your philosophies and how you do business. And so, why don't you introduce yourselves? I know Steve, you're the president, and Adam, you're the VP, and I think we established that if you're not a Thomas, you got to pick up your stuff and leave work today, right? No, I'm just kidding. But there's a bunch of you Thomases that work there. So tell us where you're at and a little bit about what you do. Who's going to win this one, the VP or the president? I want to see the battle here.
Well, I'll tell you a little about myself. We're a hometown family, and the only time I've ever left town is when I went to college, and then that 4 years I graduated and came back, started a family, and my mother and father, RJ and Doris Thomas, started the business. So I'm one of my brother and I came in and we were the second generation, and I'm on my way out. Adam's part of the third generation. So
Okay. And I guess I didn't ask. I should. What is the relationship between you two?
Adam is my nephew.
He's your nephew. Okay.
So
Perfect.
my brother Craig, who's retired now.
Okay.
I'm next. His two boys are working out here. Two out of his three boys are working out here. Me, I had three daughters, and they're out of the state in big cities. So they have careers other places. So we're fortunate to have a couple young men willing to take this to the third generation. Otherwise, we wouldn't.
Love it. Love it. That's awesome. Good deal. Adam, what's your story, my friend?
Grew up here, kind of grew up in the business, started working out here out in the plant, I think around the year 2000, about 14 years old. Andy's been here. Andy's my brother. He's a plant manager out here. He's been here as long as I have. It's been a journey. We've worked in basically every department through the plant, through the office, got to know the business. at a young age. And, it's been a journey since, and, we enjoy, I think, every part of it. It's been a learning experience. We've gotten to know, traditionally how things have been done year after year, and how, we like to see things move forward. And, we've gotten a lot of support from our family, not just Steve, but our father, our aunts are on the board. So it's a great family to be a part of, and great people to work with.
And Justin was telling me that he said when you and let's back up a quick second, because I was remiss with where are you guys located? I know you're up in the north west corner of Iowa, but what's the town, and tell me where you're near, so people got a little geographic idea where you guys are.
Well, it's northwest Iowa, Cherokee, Iowa.
Cherokee.
Yep. 60 miles from Sioux City, 110 from Sioux Falls, 60 from the Great Lakes, 25 from Storm Lake, Iowa. That just gives you some geographical locations. So
yeah, I've spent some times in what I've always called the lakes. Right, is that Lakes region, Spirit Lake, and Arnold Park. Right.
Yep.
I might have took a boat ride or two from Arnold Park.
Yeah.
I just hope the owner isn't too mad I took his boat, but but anyways, it was a good ride. But anyway, no, that's a beautiful area. That's a beautiful area up in there, especially when, and I have a manufacturer that represents that's in Spencer. And so they're up in that part of the world. And so I get up there, several times in my life. And, the funny thing about that area to me was probably like everybody else in America. I thought there was nothing but cornfields, and then Des Moines with a few high rises. That was it. Everything else was just cornfields and maybe some wheat fields, right? And that lakes area is as nice of recreation area as you'll find anywhere.
Right.
It's beautiful area. So talk to me about what exactly, because I know you manufacture your product line, I guess, really is under the Pilot Rock park equipment, right? Is that kind of the right terminology? What is Pilot Rock? What's the park equipment? What do you guys make?
So we make grills, picnic tables, fire rings, basically anything you'll see in a public park or campground. We not just that, but we do things for cityscapes, downtown, some more glamorous style benches and things like that you'll see downtown in a big city area.
Okay.
But as far as Pilot Rock goes, kind of the history behind it, it's a rock that's just up the hill from us that we had the opportunity to purchase just 2 years ago, but it's kind of a historic landmark. It was used by pioneers and Native Americans as just a landmark as they were traveling across the country before there were roads and streets, and there weren't maps back then, so you had to use landmarks. And it's been wrote about in books by some famous authors. Maybe Steve knows better than I do on that, but it's kind of a neat historic thing, and we based our whole brand name around it.
Gotcha. So I don't know why I'm so interested in this, but I am. So how big is Pilot Rock? I mean, is it like a boulder big, or like a small hill?
It's a boulder big as a house, not a 2-story house. Let's just call it a ranch style 1-story house.
Okay.
A small one, and we don't know how much of it's above ground, but it's probably 15 to 20 foot high.
Okay.
And let's say 20 by 30 or 30 by 30, but I believe that most of it's underground, and we really don't know how much is underground without doing some excavation, which we will not do. We are getting it listed on the National Historic site through the federal government, and that's taken us about a year going through all these processes, and it's been accepted. So
good.
Which is kind of it's a historic site now, which has always been historically connected because of the history behind it. it was also called the Rock by the River because the Little Sioux River goes right to the west of us, and you could actually see it from the river. And the pioneers and the American Indians used it as a landmark to. This is where we're
Sure.
at. Besides the stars, well, here now we know for sure it's in Pilot Rock. It's got a lot of history behind it, and we're
Sure.
still learning about it.
That's really cool, and it's so, and I just think it's cool that it's a great name, it's a great history, and now you've bought it, and it'll be there forever for
Right.
future generations. And I like stuff like that because you can just imagine the Native American Indians or the pioneers. Back in the day, growing up on the farm, nowhere near the same, but in mid Michigan, you didn't go so much by road names and stuff as you went down to Mr. Smith's barn, take a left, and you get down to the third big oak tree, right?
Right.
And then you see this fence row that goes back. Right. That's where in rural America we gave directions, right?
Yeah.
And in the but the pioneers, it was even more than that because there was no roads. There was
No,
just
there wasn't.
wander around till you see this goofy rock sticking out of the ground, and you're there, right?
Yep. Yep.
That's cool. That's awesome. Oh, I love the way that you incorporated that into your brand because I think branding, as we know, is so important, and I think that it's. I love everything about that because people can focus on that as customers, right? And that builds the old adage in sales, right? Of people, all things being equal, know by whom they know, like, trust, and feel safe with, right? And that's just one more way of doing that because it's Pilot Rock. There's a history, it's on the federal historic listings now that you've put some effort into that. I just think that really furthers the advantage of, and let's face it, Pilot Rock's been there forever, which means your product's going to be there forever, right? There's certainly that connotation. So how did your company get started? Obviously one of your relatives started it. Did they make park equipment from get-go, or was they into some other things?
I'm going to start, Adam, and then you can jump in. My father and Adam's grandfather, RJ, and Doris Thomas. Now, I always describe him as a Depression baby, and because they were born and grew up in the Depression, very conservative, and he was a World War II veteran.
Okay.
And I think he enlisted because they were drafting everybody, and he was a mechanical person, so he enlisted and was a CB and went overseas for a year and a half to 2 years, knowing that his wife was pregnant, and didn't come back to see his first daughter for a year until she was a year and a half old. So anyway, so he was a little bit of college, worked at John Deere, worked at a manufacturer in Cherokee, till he was 40, and then he decided to go out on his own. Was more the opportunities at this other place weren't going to pan out, so he went out and sold himself, and sold stock in a company they called RJ Thomas, and I guess bragging he was so well respected and known that they bought stock in his idea and set it up as a small corporation, and he owned, mortgaged everything he had, and owned 51%. So then he built it up, and in a very small 1,400 or 2,000 square foot brick building, and started with short line ag equipment that some of it he invented, and it evolved into various things, and eventually came into park equipment, which is our main thing. However, we're branching out on custom manufacturing too. So,
Okay.
you want to add to anything to that, Adam?
Yeah, as far as how it started, that's basically the story. I think it's progressed over the years. I think clear back in, it was the early 70s when we ventured into park equipment. By the early 90s, under my dad and Steve's leadership, they started venturing into more automation, robotics, things like that. How to make our product less labor intensive. A lot of it was in the design, but also the equipment used, and the expertise of the people that we're able to put all that together. Over the years, we've expanded on that automation, and now I think we're one of the, premier technological shops in Northwest Iowa.
So go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's very impressive. I mean, we can talk more history. So, when I came back, and my brother and I came back about the same time, he went to Iowa State, I went to USD up at Vermilion, and maybe 5 or 6 people worked in it. It was a welding shop that made this stuff, and totally different. Everything, we had to unload the trucks, truckloads of steel by hand.
Yep.
And drag them in through a steel door on the side of the building, stuff like that. But so it's changed so much that over the years we just finally got permission to buy a forklift, which was huge, like 1976, or that's when
right.
A couple years later it's like, wait, you can't buy that forklift, it's too much money. Well, it was an old used junked out one which lasted us for years, so we just kept moving on and grew from I bet 3 or 4 of us were working out there with my dad in charge, and eventually I think we got up to 95. We might be a little bit less than that right now, but I'm so impressed that with what we've done, the technology, which I have a hard time running my computer. That's what Adam and a lot of other quality people. Adam and Andy and several people that are very, very intelligent. So anyway, that's the history. And my mom with Doris with RJ, she got in the business too. So they raised a family, 4 kids, and started the business in it was actually 59, but we got back in 76. So
okay, wow. So what I find interesting there too is it certainly appears like you're doing something that gets missed a lot in today's world of business. Is you're taking advantage. You're not shying away from technology. You grasp it. You know that to be successful and to grow at a competitive rate and to make money, you're going to have to use technology. But from everything I've read up on you guys and I've heard, and Justin did a great job of giving me a lot of the history and what you guys have talked about today but you're still maintaining that personal family feel at the same time that you're building, manufacturing incredibly great product, getting them marketed all over the country, at least, if not the world. And we can talk about where you go in a minute, but a lot of companies aren't able to do that. They talk it.
right.
We're going to maintain this air quote family feel, the team, the family, whatever you want to call it, and then it gets lost. And I think a testament to that is, I'm sure you got a lot of employees there that's been there for a long, long time, right?
Right.
And people want to stay where they're appreciated. They want to stay where they're part of something. It's more than just a paycheck. Paychecks are one of those things that people always use as a reason to leave or a reason to not be happy. And they're certainly part of it. But most people don't leave businesses, don't leave employment just because of pay. Right. It's usually something else, right? And so talk to me about that and how you've maintained that, because Adam, I think it's interesting. You're a little more on that technological end of it. Steve, you've already indicated you're a little bit where I am, where if I turn my computer on and my mic works and my lights come on, I don't know why they did. I'm just happy they did. Because if they don't, I'm calling Wes and he's trying to help me walk it through like I'm a little kid. But anyway, so I understand that whole thing and of being almost like, wow, that really works. That's amazing. So how do you do that? Is that just because you're family owned? It's a small community. It's a small business, or do you pay? I guess that's my real question. Do you pay attention? Do you guys as a board and as a management team really focus on maintaining that kind of cohesiveness between tech and family owned?
Yes.
Or does it just happen?
No. So here's my thought on it, and Adam's going to jump in too, because I know he agrees with me, but he'll add to it. It's like we're not only a family business, which is kind of unique, and first generation. If you can even get it to go and make it, that's a heck of an accomplishment. Second generation statistics, if it's a family held business, they go way down for success. The third generation, it's just minuscule.
Right.
And we won't even go into the reasons like that of that. But so it's a family business, but I think we portray to our employees that they're in a family business and they're part of the family. So our priority is like, we have to take care of the people that are making us successful. It's not just any of the Thomases that are making it successful, which they are. There's a whole bunch of other people. We couldn't do it. We probably with 2 or 3 people that were to begin with, but we need at this point a dozen people or more that are very skilled and dedicated. And how do you do that? It's not, you said it, it's not only pay. It's your working conditions and your atmosphere that you're in. And we have had a lot of people retire out of here. One particular fellow, when I was back, well, I was always here, like going through school in high school. I worked out here. Like in 1972, a fellow got out of Vietnam. Maybe it was even before that, maybe 1970. And he retired out of here about 10 years ago. I mean, that's after he got out of Vietnam and he was a person. So
40 plus years he was out here. We've got a few more that are at 40 years right now.
Really?
A lot at 30 plus years. We like to bring people in. We like to hang on to them because they're, they are a family to us.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a strong relationship with most everybody out here. It's getting harder and harder the more we've grown. Like Steve said, we're up around 90 people right now. I used to know everybody's name in the plant. I'm trying to get back to that again, but a lot of these people we grew up with since we were young kids, and we'd love to keep every single one of them until they retire.
right.
Well, and that's got in today's world, and I think probably I'm going to guess in a little more small town oriented community is different. That's where I grew up. I grew up in a town of 1,201 people, which is always weird to me. But anyway, I always wondered who that one was. I kind of decided it was me, but nobody else thought that.
Right.
But anyway, it was like in today's society, younger people, right? And is that not a challenge that you will have to pay attention to as you move forward? Is people, for lack of a better term, this really ages me, but so many people don't see themselves. I'll use air quotes again, but work for the company store anymore, right? It's not like, well, I'm going to start this job at 18 or 22, and I'm going to raise my family, and I'm going to retire here with a big picnic for me some Saturday afternoon when I'm 65. They're like, I'm working here until I'm not, which could be next week. It's great. And so, do you focus on that too as you move forward more? And what do you do as a business that wants that and wants to build that cohesiveness? Are you finding it harder, I guess, with the newer generation? And this is not a knock on newer generations because they are what they are. Right. It's not their fault any more than it was. Steve, you and I are probably somewhere in the same age group. We were raised the way we were raised, right?
Right.
And that wasn't our fault. So this is not a blame on the younger generation.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And how do we work with those people as owners of businesses to get them to see the light of, hey, maybe, just maybe, this would be a great spot to be for maybe forever.
Right.
Yeah. There's definitely some connotation to that. With the newer generation doesn't have quite the loyalty to the company that they're working for that there used to be, I think, in previous generations. But that's, I think, part of our job is to kind of build that loyalty, I think, and treat them the way they want to be treated. Pay a competitive wage. you know, we try to provide a laid back environment, not, you know, it's a place that I think people can enjoy going to work. Sometimes we lose somebody to another opportunity, but more often than not, they come back. They're asking to come back. It's they find out, you know, it's not like this everywhere. It's you've got more corporate environments. You've got smaller shops that, you know, aren't as clean, aren't as well kept. You know, there's a lot of manual labor that we try to work around, try to find better solutions for. You know, not every manufacturer out there can do that. And
right.
So
That's where technology comes in. It's like it does. The technology makes us allows us to have our employees work more efficient and safer, and you got to pass that on to them in compensation. Once again, monetary benefits, environment, and build loyalty, as Adam said. Build loyalty.
On the other end, we depend on these people. It's in a rural community, you know, good help is sometimes hard to find, and once you train them, you know, you're not going to go pick up another press brake operator in town.
Right.
Most people in Cherokee, Iowa, have never seen a press brake before.
Right.
Know how to operate it, and with, you know, the controls anymore, they're getting more and more complicated. All the software is changing. You know, it's hard to train people, and it's hard to find people that can, you know, come in and implement this stuff, put things together. You know, we've got a great team, not just out in production, but in our engineering, our maintenance facilities. You know, those are people we can't lose. So we've got to build that loyalty. Got to keep these guys here, and we absolutely depend on them. And you know, it's just, we enjoy having them. They're, again, family to us. You know, I don't know where to go from there, but
yeah, I'll say one thing. It's like I've been here since, I don't know, it might be 50 years or something, and I have a really good time coming to work.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a little stressful, yes. But I think if we have enough people that can roll with the stress and get through stuff and know the common goals, it's an enjoyable place to work. We're not all goofing off out here, but we sure want to make each other smile and stuff like that. And I like that environment.
Well, yeah, because, you know, a mantra that I use a lot, I say it a lot, and I'll say it at the end of the show, so you get to hear it twice. But it's a mantra that I use, that I believe and live every day, which is, I love what I do and I do what I love. Mm-hmm. And I really mean that. I enjoy, but when you enjoy it every day, that doesn't mean you enjoy every second or every minute. You know, there's a little theory I like to think about and talk about when anybody will ever listen, and remind myself sometimes, is most things are just 20 minutes of suck, right? Mm-hmm. Don't let 20 minutes of suck become 20 hours or 20 days or 20 months or 20 years, right? And see, that's what a lot of people do. My life sucks. I hate my job, but I can't leave. Nobody pays better. I only got 32 years, 12 months. You know, we've all heard those guys, right?
Right.
And really, you know, if you got two choices if you're in that. And my thought as an employee, let's say, figure out why it's like this, and see if you can't talk to the Steven Adams of the world and try to figure it out, so that we can be happier together here.
Right.
Or do everybody a favor and go, right? Because you're not doing yourself or anybody any favors if you hate life every day.
Right.
You know, you're going to hate that 20 minutes. We're all going to have, I don't get through a day, and I love what I do. I love repping my manufacturers that I do, and I get to do a lot of these other fun things that I enjoy doing. But believe me, I've done the throw my cell phone over my shoulder on the New York throughway going 80 mile an hour, bouncing off the seat, and then I got to pull over and stop and dig under the seat trying to find it because I was stupid, because I was so mad and angry over something, right?
Right.
We've all done that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you go grab a iced tea for a minute and calm down, and you fix the issue, and you go, you know what? I still get to go see another customer now that I love, right? And I think that's the key. Is you not easy, but I think I can tell that just with talking to you guys, that all comes from the top down. It all comes from building that, because it's easy to say, well, we're a family. We want to be a family. Well, okay, but do you, or do you just say it, right? And if you do the things that you guys have talked about, people don't want to leave that stuff. I mean, people don't leave families. They might get mad at their cousin Billy, but they don't typically leave the family, right? They go duke it out with him out back of the barn for a minute, and then they go have a beer together, right? It's I think it's the same thing in work. So I high praise for what you guys are doing. I really would like to chat for a minute though, more on your products and stuff, and where, how do you go to market? I mean, I understand what you make. The park equipment stuff, it makes sense. I think most people will get what that is. We've kind of talked about it a little bit. What's your business model look like? How do you go to market? Do you go through distribution? Are these municipalities buying direct from you, combinations, or how does that look for you guys?
Adam, I'll start again, then you're going to jump in, because my mother was the sales. She did everything in the office and the sales. She went to trade shows back when ladies wouldn't be going to trade shows. And when I was in high school, we would go to trade shows. They were much smaller, and Randy, you've been to tons of trade shows, and we still go to a lot of them, not myself particularly, but trade shows where we'd set up a booth on our products, and it was pretty regional as we started out. And as we grew, we'd start going to the national show. There's always associations that concentrate on a certain industry, and they all have national trade shows and associations and stuff like that. So we did a lot of that. We would print catalogs, black and white flyers. Then finally we got into color as things, and to keep customer information, we had a Rolodex, big cards that we type it on there. So back a long ways. And to have the information so we could service the customers and keep track of warranties and stuff like that. Well, anyway, so that we grew and grew, and I can remember, and I can't do this anymore, and I don't want to, but I would, then when Mom stopped doing it, it was basically, I was in charge of it. My brother was the engineer, very smart mechanically, great, and as my nephews are too. And so I had a lot of on the road experience and going all over the country. Got to the point where there's cities that I can't remember I was in, and oh yes, I was there for the national shows and stuff like that. Ship and fly, ship our stuff in, and that was hard work. I mean, it sure looks like a lot of fun, but it's like standing around and it's busy. Then it's not busy. You know all about this. So anyway, and as we kept going, we got into the computers, and technology came in, and we just got to the point where I'm going to address how we sell our stuff. We were always factory direct.
Okay.
We built up the Blue Sky, Goodwill, which is worth a lot of money if you're successful. People would come back to us because, man, they had a valued, high value product for a fair price. You've heard that before too. And it was good. And if anything was wrong, we'd take care of them, bend over backwards. And so they'd come back and say, well, if Pilot Rock's making something new, as a different product in the same market, it's going to be good. I mean, that's what your Blue Sky is all about. Right. So as time goes on, then the internet, and you're talking about your cell phone. We can't get along without our cell phones, and it drives me crazy.
Right.
Oh, where's my cell phone? Because my wife was on the road, and I want to make sure she can call me. So anyway, technology came in with the computers and the internet, and Adam's going to jump in here pretty quick because it's our website. It's like wow, it's pretty cool. Everybody has cool websites, but it moved into technology, not only in the manufacturing side of it, but the sales point. So we do a little work with different reps in different areas, non-exclusive, and build relationships with them, because with all of our blue sky, we have customers, federal, state, and local customers that have been with us for 50 years, and they buy a lot of stuff from us. So we're, and it's competitive when you get into the 500 units at a time.
Mhm.
Very competitive. So it's like those customers would go factory direct because we've got a thing with them. But we do use some outside reps once in a while. So things like
Perfect.
that.
Adam?
We hear it all the time from purchasers, park rangers, everywhere that, we want your equipment. If there's anything we can do to avoid going to the bidding process, if they can buy direct, they're going to try and do it. As soon as it goes to the bidding process, then we got to compete on price. We already know we've got some of the best quality equipment out there, if not the best. But we also have to compete on price. So we've got to figure out efficient ways to have the best equipment, but still have the cheapest priced equipment. Because it doesn't matter if it's, by $1,000 or $1. If you're not the lowest bidder, you're not getting that project. So that's a big part of it. But outside of the large projects, we go all the way down to we sell into places like Lowe's and Amazon, direct retail. Then you get the really picky customer that the park ranger may be all right with a few scratches in the paint from shipping or something like that. They can fix that with touch-up paint.
Right.
For the retail, we've got to package it in a way. It's got to get there in perfect condition every time. Some of them aren't, some of these guys just aren't willing to touch it up. So it's expensive to ship things back and forth. Yeah. Place a product over a scratch that, from a careless operator in a freight terminal. So it's, a lot of it's repeat customers that love our equipment, a lot of brand new customers who are hearing about us or have never heard of us. They're reading Amazon reviews or, different places like that. It's quite a mix as far as our customer base goes. And you've got cities, states, I'm sure there's a lot of cities out there who still haven't heard of Pilot Rock equipment, and we've got to find a way to reach those as well.
Sure. Mm-hmm. I want to say something too about some of our product development in association with our customers. Some of the best products that we made in this field that we're in were a collaboration, because our federal customers and state customers, public use and abuse, a picnic table is not a picnic table, Right. A commercial picnic table might not be like a commercial picnic table should be. I didn't know this till 25, 30 years ago, that there was so much snow load in the mountains to do out west, especially, and there's other places that you can get in and out of the higher elevation recreation areas because there's 20 foot of snow. In the outhouses, you could just see the peak. And there was a season to it too. So, and weather's changed a little bit, but we've never had trouble with ours failing, but under the snow load. Now this has to do with picnic tables, benches, and even like the grates on your grill. They'd be under the snow load out there, and lucky for us, this one job had some of our competitors' tables, and they were crushed. But never on our standard commercial duty stuff, we've never had that problem because we just never made anything real light. So they wanted us to test something up to a certain thing, and as for snow load, which we did, had it tested outside Iowa State and a couple other engineering outfits, redesigned it or designed a product we call it snow load for a particular customer, and it spread. And had it tested, and they said they wanted 500 pounds per square foot. How do you know how much per square foot the snow load is up there? I mean,
Right.
you can't. So it's 500. Okay, so we built something, had it independently tested by twice, and I think it tested out at 1,400 square pounds per square foot for load. So they, snow load, and the tables would bent, fold over. So that's a super heavy duty thing that we've developed, and when you're first on the market with something really good, then there's a lot of repetition by other
Right.
folks, and we just have to keep working on proving that ours is the best through the internet tests and videos and stuff like that. So it's if the customer wants something, we're still at the point in our business life where we can do it, because we're
Okay.
not so big that we can't do it. It's like we can make anything, but if you want one of them for your neighbor and it's going to cost $1,000, no way would I pay that. And it's like, well, we got to make one. We got to go through the development of it. So
Right.
it's really a relationship between our not only our employees but our customers, which I think is part of our success.
Mhm.
That's
That's
just
awesome.
I like to talk about.
Yeah. Good deal, man. So Pilot Rock, as we kind of wind down, because you guys have been very, very generous with your time. Before we move to a should ask question that Wes loves, and he'll remind me in a minute if I don't put it up there, which is usually always. But what have we missed today before we get into that maybe you guys wanted to chat about? What else should we know about Pilot Rock and RJ Thomas, small businesses? What can you share with the folks out there to maybe mimic the success that you guys have always had? What's one or two of Steve and Adam's keys to success? Because you guys are obviously very successful at running an operation there and building that family dynamics amongst your people. What's one good lesson, Adam? What's one good lesson, Steve?
I think the quickest way to build a relationship with your customers is when you run into a problem, go out of your way to fix it in the best way possible. I'd rather lose money on an order and keep a relationship than if you can't fix a problem when you have one that's satisfactory to the customer, that makes them happy, they're going to find somebody else the next time around. So we like first time customers, but we like repeat customers even better. The ones that
Right.
We know their names, we know exactly what they're looking for, what they want. We've got a great customer service staff that knows a lot of these customers by name, by voice, by everything, and they can tell you exactly what they've ordered in the past, any problems that they've ran into. To have records of all that and be able to avoid those problems in the first place is huge. But when you have the problems, it's how you take care of it that
Right.
really extends those types of relationships.
Well, two things you hit on there, Adam, that I love, and Steve, maybe you got something to say on that or something else, of course, too. But one is lost opportunity costs, right? We forget sometimes. Well, yeah, but it's going to cost me $500. That's not really my fault, but $500 to fix this. But what's it cost you in lost opportunity costs with future business from that customer, let alone the goodwill and the word of mouth? Because especially when you're talking the type of customer base that I believe I feel comfortable that I understand how this works with you guys. They all know other people. They show up at these events and shows, and if they're the park ranger at this one, they know the people from other ones, and they're going to say, "Oh my God, yeah, we had what a problem." But you know what? Adam and Steve fixed it, man. They took care of us, and so it cost you $500. But what happens if they say, "Yeah, we had a problem and it was big, and you know what? I don't even want to talk to these people again. I thought I liked them. I thought I trusted them, but they screwed us every possible way over and over and over and over." Well, now all of a sudden, not only did you lose the customer you didn't take care of, but you lost this guy and the 8 other people kind of around listening, right? Those lost, and the problem with lost opportunity costs And you guys probably are way smarter than me, but I don't know how to do that math. I just know it's a lot, but it's hard to quantify that, right?
Right.
That's exactly right. You'll never know.
Yes. And what you don't know kills you. If I know it's going to cost me $3,000 max, and I'm willing to take a stand with $500 for $3,000, and I'm probably still a dumb decision, but okay, let's say I'm willing to do that. That's one thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's $3,000, $30,000, $300,000, $3 million
Sure.
that I'm costing myself over. Just give the guy the $500 or whatever, or in product or fix it or whatever. So I love that concept.
You can't measure it on the customers that you've lost. You can only measure it based on the ones that keep coming back. And
exactly.
that's
And the last thing then, because I do want to let you guys go too, but I love I love your take, because I think, Adam, you touched on it, maybe Steve, you did, but we all are driven by prospecting, taking people from suspects to prospects to potential clients. It's marketing 101, right? I mean, it's what we have to do. But where do we find that fine line? And there is a line there between taking care of the existing customer friends that we've had for years versus that consistently looking for new customers. Now, I know the easy pad answer, well, you do both all the time. And that is correct.
Right.
But here's my question. Here's my should ask question, and we're going to get to yours. If you can only do one thing right now, is it take care of a long-term existing customer that's worth $1 million a year? Or is it to forget him and do whatever it takes to get this new customer that might be worth $1 million?
Well,
I don't know if I can answer that question, but we have bins that we sell nationally, some around the world. We've got one location. We have limited contact with our customers, so we've got to make the most out of every opportunity that we have. We're not out there searching for new customers. We advertise the best we can, but they're coming to us, and we've got to, we appreciate that, and we've got to keep them happy every opportunity.
Yeah. So you answered that question exactly as I thought you would, because we all want the new business, right? We all want the new business.
Roundabout.
But you did. But man, the customer you've had a long-term relationship with, it will probably be with you forever if you take care of them.
right.
The brand new customer that you're chasing, super important. Now, I'm not going to discount it a bit, but that's still a kind of maybe yet.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, and if in a perfect world, you don't have to make that choice, right? In a perfect world, you do both, but we get faced with those from time to time. And I think if our goal is to always make sure we take care of that customer, either end of that spectrum, and that's what it comes back to. We've talked about that kind of throughout the theme of the conversation is you just take care of customers and you do what's right, regardless if you can do it, if it's possible. We use the term, it gets overused, but customer centric is a term that's tossed around a lot. But are we easy to do business with? Do people want to do business? Because that's where they're going to go, right? So let's end this with a should ask question. In either or, both of you can answer this. Please feel free. But what do you just wish Randy would have asked that I didn't, or just when you're out and about at I don't know, at the local coffee shop, whatever you're doing. And when it comes to business in general, RJ Thomas specifically, Pilot Rock, what do you wish people would ask, Adam and Steve? What do you wish people would ask you about the business or about being in business, about taking care of employees, whatever it is? What's just a question that never gets asked?
Boy, I tell you. Go ahead, Adam.
I was going to let you go ahead on that one.
I was going to say that the comments when we're out with my buddies and socially with friends, if we start talking business, they're always smothering me with compliments because of the stuff that we have done in the past. I'm not sure I'm answering the question, which makes me feel very proud. And I say, stop it. You don't have to say that, but they're just so complimentary because we're a foundation, an anchor of this community of 4,500 people. And if we had 10 more companies like ours in this community, it'd be much better than one great big one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I answered your question, but
Well, I suppose another question, how do I buy your product, or how do I get 10 more of these? That's the question we want to hear. It's and we hear it enough, but you can never have too many of those.
Yeah, you always. One of the best questions in the world is, man, I kind of like some of your stuff. How do I get it? Right?
yeah.
That's a great question, because I'm not sure, but we'll find a way. You want it, we're going to find a way to get you product, right?
Right.
That's never an issue. But no, and Steve, you did answer the question, because I think that the one thing that people, with listening to what you said, people will say the complimentary part is I'm sure is well deserved, and you should feel good about that. The part that a lot of people miss is they see all the good stuff, right? Where a lot of people miss is all of the we touched on it earlier, right? The 20-minute, the multiple many 20 minutes of suck over the years that you have to deal with, that nobody sees, because they see the success and they see what a fine-tuned operation, but behind every fine-tuned operation, there's stuff, right? There's stuff that has to be addressed daily, and I think a lot of people look at anybody in the business world, if you will. Or you can put it, because I would put professional sports in the business world. They're private contractors, right? And they're in the business world. The 3 hours on Sunday afternoon in an NFL stadium is like almost 0% of their time, right? That most of their time is spent doing stuff that none of us are going to ever want to do.
Right.
I don't want to be in the weight room that much. I don't want to do all that they have to do, right, to play at that level for 3 hours on a Sunday, right? So I think everybody looks at, look at all the money they make, and you could extrapolate that back to running a local business and all the great things, but I think it gets missed. The Jordan story always comes of Michael Jordan, my opinion, is the greatest basketball player ever, but that could be argued. But my point is, he would go shoot thousands of free throws and run sprints after the game, because he knew he had to do that to play at the high level he wanted to play at, right? But nobody saw that or cared about that. They just wanted to come and buy expensive beer and some nacho chips and cheer Michael on for 2 hours on a Saturday evening, right? So I think that's the one thing that I think about a lot is remember, there's a whole lot of not fun stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And so I think in my parting words is people should celebrate what you guys do for the community, what you do for the industry, because it's not easy. What you guys do, you probably make it look easy to a lot of people, but that's because you spent years and years and years fine tuning to get to that point. And my guess is, I can tell with just things that you've said, you're not done with that. It's not a done RJ Thomas, the pilot line, I can say this without even knowing anything. It's not like we're done now, we'll just keep doing what we do. I can tell you guys are always looking to be better, to make improvements. What's the next option? What's the next avenue? And that's the way successful business do it, because there is no, it's like, back to sports, and I'm a University of Michigan guy, right? So we just won the national title in basketball, right?
Yeah.
Dusty May, celebrate, big win, but tomorrow we got to start all over again, right? Because tomorrow we are the past or the reigning national champions, but it's a new season today, baby, right?
Yep.
And so you can celebrate, but you got to turn around and get ready again for the next season already, right? And so I think that it plays into the world of business. But guys, I can't thank you enough for coming on, sharing the story of RJ Thomas. And I think we've been running stuff along the bottom of the screen, and all I can tell is anybody out there that wants to buy product from the Pilot Rock, check my new friends out, because I can tell you won't be disappointed. So what do you think? That's it. That's it. We need to go.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you. We'll appreciate it. I get out to Iowa next time. Maybe I'll come out a day early and come down and tour the plant or something.
For sure. For sure.
Sounds great.
Maybe we can roast some wieners on one of your little grills or something.
We'll have a steak somewhere. I don't know.
Well, steak sounds better. Okay, I was trying to be fair because I was inviting myself into your house, but steak would be better than a wiener. Okay, fair enough. All right,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you. Appreciate you, Steve, Adam.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, folks. Man, that was a fun conversation, wasn't it? I love these guys. I could have went on forever. I'm watching the clock going, I need to end this thing because, well, I promised them we wouldn't go forever. But I love everything about their business and what they do. And if you have any need for their products, look them up. Check them out. I think you'll be very satisfied. And as always, just keep loving what you do and doing what you love. You get one go around, so live it, love it, own it. And, go make today your best day ever. Till tomorrow. Cheers, my friends.